My name is Publio. I'm gonna sing a couple of songs to prepare our environment, to prepare our soul for the Spiritist talk tonight. So welcome to our meeting. First of all, I'm gonna sing a song called Vibrate. When life lends a hand, it's time to open up your heart. It is time to love one another. It's time to take part. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity. Now I'm gonna sing a song that really calmed me down. If I close my eyes to pray, I heard the sound of the sea far away. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in his arms I sway. Body harmonizes, how well done in the hand. Music lifts, his spirit sends sweet ballet. Nature's love, a constant giveaway. In joy and peace, my heart finds its way. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in his arms I sway. If I close my eyes to pray, I heard the sound of the sea far away. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in his arms I sway. Body harmonizes, how well done in the hay. Music lifts, his spirit sends sweet ballet. Nature's love, a constant giveaway. way. Now, song to Mother Zephyrina. Source of love that radiates, warming up our cold nights, support and comfort, support and comfort, cascades from down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their hearts, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in hard work. The solution lies in hard work. Oh, my Mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make your small son a good Christian, make your small son a good Christian. Source of love that radiates, warming up our cold nights, support and comfort, support and comfort, cascades from down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their hearts, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in hard work. The solution lies in hard work. Oh, my Mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make your small son a good Christian, make your small son a good Christian.
Say me name, wherever you are, glowing seeds of love, as our Master Jesus taught. You will see that behind every sight there's a flame shining bright, tiny spark created by God. I will follow disseminate wherever you are. Glowing seeds of love as our Master Jesus taught. As our Master Jesus taught. Ooh.
Another day, another flower, another minute past the hour. Someday the sky is blue, and suddenly we can't see through. And every day is a fresh new start. When the sun turns off the moonlight, we get another chance to choose the road we want to cruise. And on the other side of the mountain, there's always a whole new road, the new beginning calling after every end. There are a million reasons to pick you up after every fall. It's always a win in the new round. On the other side of the mountain, there's always a whole new road, and the new beginning calling after every end. And there are a million reasons to pick you up after every fall. It's always a win. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round.
Hello, friends. How is everybody doing? We are so happy to have you here. We are really blessed to be here in this time that we have every week together. So we want to welcome everybody and to our public meeting today, to a talk. And like always, we like to remind you to really turn off your phone notifications, to find a quiet place if it's possible, to really disconnect of all the material world. This is our time. This is your time with the gospel of Jesus Christ, learning more about Spiritism and thinking, what are the messages of the gospel of Jesus, of Spiritism, that I can bring to my life so that my life can be better, right? So the meeting format, it's around 30 minutes presentation with 10 minutes question and answer. And also we have our spiritual care. So right now it's a good time for you to get your container. It can be a cup, it can be a jar of potable water, drinkable water that can be magnetized by the spirits at the end of our meeting during the spiritual treatment. We, come here live every Tuesday through Spiritism Canada, Facebook, and YouTube, and also Concafres Continental Americas and Facebook. And we are also retransmitted by our wonderful friends of Kardec Radio through their Facebook and their YouTube too, now at a new time and date. So now on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you like the meetings we have, if you are new to Spiritism and want to learn more, if you would like to learn more about Spiritism, we have a course just for you. This course is free, it is online, and it's every Saturday at 5:15 Eastern Time. The name of the course is Get to Know Spiritism. So the new cohort of students will start September 2025, and you can stay tuned for more details on how you can register. We also offer you Gospel at Home. So you can request for assistance in starting and maintaining the Gospel at Home. And the Gospel at Home is a set time every week where you, by yourself or with your family members, hopefully, or with a friend, every week at a certain time, you set 15 to 30 minutes to pray and to, as a family or in a group setting, to talk about the gospel of Jesus Christ. So if you want more information about that, then contact us. We also have a vibration book or an online confidential prayer book. And the link is in the chat. So you can put your name, the name of a friend that needs prayer, somebody that you know that is going through a difficulty and you would like to send some prayers to. We have a group that will pray for everybody that his name is in the list. And just to remind everybody, it can be an incarnate or a discarnate person, somebody that you love that is already in the spiritual world. You can put their names to, and we'll pray for them. So the link is in the chat. So today we're going to be talking about the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 8, items 5 to 7. Blessed are the pure of heart, and is sinning in thought, adultery. And we love comments and questions, so we welcome those. You can ask your questions or put your comments during the talk, and at the end, we would answer your questions. And now I'm going to bring our friend, Veronica, who is actually going to lead us in these reflections today. Hello, Veronica.
Hello, Anna. Hello, everyone.
How are you, friend?
I'm doing well.
All right, so I'll let you do our opening prayer and lead the discussion, and I'll be back soon. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
And thanks bye. And thanks everybody who are join us now for our study in live or on demand. So let's join me in a prayer so we can get tuned with the good spirits to grasp the good teachings, right, from this study. So let's close our eyes, my friends, and feel in this moment disconnected a little bit of our problems, and let on the side our worries and the busyness of our days, and let's connect, looking and seeking for the higher, more pure energy, thoughts, the energy from the good spirits, the realms where peace and tranquility reign. And let's connect with our Creator in gratitude for this moment, for our lives, for each and every blessing we receive in our days. Dear God, our loving Father, we are so thankful. Thankful because we can join to study and listen the good news that were spread on earth by our Master Jesus. May we be able to one day fully follow Jesus' words. But in the time being, may we be able to open our hearts, our minds to the teachings that can bring us peace, consolation, and hope for each step we make on earth. May this moment we can join good spirits and may they allow us to be fulfilled of inspiration so that we can gather the lessons we need in our lives to recruit strength and joy, to overcome obstacles, to live our lives fully and in the right path with the sun guiding us as a bright day. May the good spirits be with us in this study, and may we have our hearts and ears open to their inspiration. Thank you, God. Thank you, Master Jesus. So be it. Okay, so, okay, everyone, I'm going to share my screen here. And as Anna mentioned, we are studying chapter 8 from the Gospel according to Spiritism, and it entitled Blessed Are the Pure of Heart. And today we are specifically studying items 5 to 7 with the title Sinning in Thought and also Adultery. So this session starts with, let me just change here. This session starts with a passage from Matthew chapter 5, which says, from the words of Jesus, "You have learned that it was said to the ancients, 'You shall not commit adultery,'" right? That's one of the 10 commandments. The 10 commandments. But Jesus complete, right? Jesus continues saying, "But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman with a wicked desire for her has already committed adultery with her in his heart." Right? So the commandment says that we should not be involved in an affair, right? But Jesus goes much further. Even the thinking, the thought of it is already considered adultery. So that brings us some questions, right? So the first question is, what is the true meaning behind Jesus' messages? This particular message. So did Jesus just want to speak about, was Jesus only speaking about adultery in the sense that commonly we use in our everyday life? Or was there a deeper meaning behind his words? So if we look at the definition, the most popular definition, adultery is considered being involved in a love relationship with another person in which at least one of them is committed to another relationship, right? Is married to somebody else. So that's what the way how we commonly think about adultery when we first hear the word, right? So it's betraying someone, be having an affair. But the word, this word has not only this meaning, but something deeper. So it could mean, this word also means a misconduct or a wrongdoing, right? Doing something that's wrong, considered wrong. Unfaithfulness. So we are cheating or we are being unfaithful to someone, unloyal, disloyal, or be untrustworthy. So we are someone who cannot be trusted. So gathered together, and Jesus always has a deep lesson, right, for us to learn. Jesus is expanding this definition in the commandment, do not commit adultery, to something bigger. It is any action in which we are doing something wrong, right? So the word adultery, according to Kardec, must in no way be understood here in the exclusive sense of its normal meaning, but in a more generalized sense. Jesus often employed this word, adultery, is by extension of designed evil, sin, and every bad thought. Right? So many times when he used this word, it means much more than cheating. Right? So one example here in Mark chapter 8, verse 38, Jesus is going to say, if anyone is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will be ashamed of them when he comes in his Father's glory with the holy angels. So this passage is talking about adultery again, but it's talking about a generation of sinful people, right? People who are doing wrong things. So examples of that is not being faithful to God or not being faithful to God's law. So every time we break one of divine laws, we are being committing adultery because we are cheating, right, on our relationship with God, right? So marriage in that sense can be understood as a relationship. And a relationship I can have with my parents, not only with my uh, love partner, right? But with my family, my co-workers, and with God as well. Because we all have some rules to follow to respect people. So every time we're not respecting, we might be cheating in that sense. So then what is the meaning of that message, right? Of that warning that Jesus give to people, right? In terms of thinking. So Jesus is trying to say that, is teaching us that true purity, being a evolved spirit, right? For us to have purity inside of us, is not only displayed in actions, but it is also displayed in thoughts, which means that a pure spirit or a person full of virtues not only acts right, but also does not commit mistakes by thoughts, right? So for those who have a pure heart, they don't even think about evil, right? And if we recall if you look at the studies about thoughts, we have on average how many? 60,000, 60,000,000, 60,000 thoughts, right, per day or more. And our mind never stops, right? If I just tell you stop thinking for a minute, we start thinking that we are not thinking, right? And how can we stop us from thinking? So these thoughts, the thoughts are in our mind all the time. We don't switch them off. We just switch from one thought to the other. But someone with pure heart, a spirit that's pure, they don't even think about evil, right? So this is the true meaning of Jesus' words. Jesus condemns sin as a mistake, right? A wrongdoing we do in our lives, even in thought, because it is a sign of impurity. So we, most of us, right? Most of the humanity follow pretty much the main commandments, right? We don't kill, we we may not be involved in adultery, and we might respect ours, honor father and mother, and so on. But in our minds, we might think, oh, I'm not going to kill anybody, but if we have an argument, for example, we will not never end up in a fight, physical fight, but we sometimes think, right? Oh, I wish we can wish something bad to the person to happen, or we might want in our thoughts. So if we are, as we evolve and become more pure, we won't even think about that, right? In Spiritism is consoling because it gives us some strategies and understanding where we start to shift these vicious thoughts that can be evil to something that is more is filled with understanding, because we understand that we are immortal spirits, and even those who hurt us is a circumstance, right? It's not going to be eternal. They many times we get hurt more because of misunderstanding than because someone is evil. And the same for us. Many times we make mistakes. It's not that because we are purely evil, right? Sometimes we drop the ball, right? We hurt someone. Sometimes we say words that hurt people, but it's not because we are evil. It's because we make a mistakes, right? We are not perfect. And we know that that's a circumstance. And as we evolve, that we learn from Spiritism, we will less and less drop the ball like this, right? Make mistakes. And so much so that will not even think about evil. How excellent this is, right? Because if we think about how much we suffer, right? How much time we spend ruminating in anger, in revenge, in jealousy, right? In all the vices and all those feelings that really hurt us, it hurts much more the person who creates these feelings than the people we want to direct that feeling, right? So we are going to learn to control that, because we know that that's temporary. So taking together this idea that we can make mistakes and commit sin, is sinful to have evil thoughts, one question that comes to our minds is, does one who suffer does the one who suffer does one suffer the consequences of an evil thought if it is not followed by an effect? So if I have an evil thought, will I suffer? Will I have a consequence if I only have the thought, even though there was no action, right? So I thought about, oh, I want punch somebody in the face, right? So will that, just the thought have a consequence? Will be hard. Is that going to be, even though if I never touch the person I want to punch, I thought about punching, right? So here there is an important distinction, okay, to be made, and that was Kardec's words, right? So we many times we have the evil thought. We all have, from all the thousands of thoughts we have per day, not all of them are good, right? Are pure, good, elevated, and bright. Some are pretty dark. So the important thing, there's important distinction that when we have that thought, the first, we could use that moment as a teaching moment that's going to help us. So as Kardec is going to explain that a soul that has gone astray can still progress. So if we have a bad thought, so the more freely and willingly we choose to grow, the more we will become more enlightened, and gradually we are going to put away, to shed all the imperfections. So the more we grow and want to improve, less and less we will fall into those traps, right? These traps that kind of take us down, right? So, and Kardec is going to say that there could be two cases, right? So first, every evil thought reflects a flaw in the soul. So we need to be very conscious of that, right? So when we have an evil thought, and our conscience is very good at detecting, right, and discriminating when we are having an evil thought. Sometimes we make excuses, right? Oh, I had this thought, but I was angry, I was tired, I was hungry, right? And we had this bad thought, but I'm not that bad. But that's a red flag, right? We need to pay attention, because if those thoughts circulate in our minds, we need to be critical, right? And think carefully why that's happening, and really scan our our soul, right, for these evil thoughts. So however, even if we have an evil thought, that can be an opportunity for advancement if we immediately reject it. So if we observe our thoughts and we notice, and you can pick up any evil thought, any negativity, anything that's harmful, any thought that uh, results in wishing something evil towards others, we should stop that right away, right? That's the first step. So we can use that evil thought that could be destructive in a teaching moment for us. So this indicates that we are making an effort, as we were trying to wipe away a stain, right? So we saw something fall on the carpet, right? We go right away and try to clean. We are not putting furniture on top of it, right? We are not letting it dry. we are right away trying to treat that stain. So it's the same with an evil thought, right? If faced with the chance to indulge an evil desire and we refused, so you notice the evil thought, we have an opportunity to do something wrong, but we consciously stop ourselves and refuse it, and we resisted to this impulse to do something wrong, then afterwards we will feel much stronger and happier for our victory because we won this small battle against the evil that are inside of us, and that's what makes us stronger and happier, right? Once we understand we know the difference between good and evil, and we have a choice, resisting to doing the wrong thing bring us peace of mind, right? So many times we sometimes don't measure our words well, and sometimes we hurt others, right? People we love with our words, and then we feel guilty, right? We feel bad, and then we need to that the weight gets inside of us and on our shoulders until we are able to make peace with it, right? Many times we need to apologize, right? Make sure we explain ourselves and seek for forgiveness sometimes. So that's what makes us have peace and win, right? This battle with the evil that are inside of us. Okay, so then if that's a teaching moment, but it could have the opposite, right? So let's say, on the other hand, there are times that we don't make good choices, right? That's what I like to tell to my kids, right? Are we going to make good or bad choices? Sometimes we make bad choices that are not so good. And sometimes the soul, because we are so familiar, so used to go on the wrong path, we kind of look for those opportunities, right? So if you are involved in gossipy, if you enjoy hearing about people's life or people's troubles and people's mistakes, it kind of we start to look for situations that allow us to hear more of those stories, right? And that's taking us nowhere, right? Because we are not listening because we want to learn from their mistakes and not make the same. It's just because we enjoy seeing when hearing and knowing about those stories where people the stories don't went so well to others. But we seek for opportunities for an evil act, right? So we are looking for that. So we look for gossipy. We look for people's mistakes, right? We look for a moment where we can point a finger about a mistake that somebody has done. So but let's say if it does not, we do not actually do anything wrong, but we are looking for and we have the thought, but we don't do anything wrong, is not because of our will. It's not because it was our wish, but because we lacked the opportunity, right? So we didn't make a mistake because we lacked the opportunity. Otherwise, we would be doing it, right? It's almost like we see money on the floor, right? And I'm not taking the money for me that doesn't belong to me, not because I don't want to, it's just because I didn't see any money lingering around, right? So in that case, it is as guilty as we actually had committed, right? Because when we think about it, Kardec is very clever here because it kind of does make sense, right? So we are guilty because we have the thought, we want to do it, it just the opportunity didn't show up. So it shows how we can, right, we are still inside. So then the question is how we can move towards using our mistakes as a teaching moment and a lesson to overcome these opportunities and less enjoy the evil thoughts, right? Less and less push that away from our being. And I brought here a story, right? A case, and I think that case illustrates some of the strategies that some of the tools Spiritism give to us that can help us to shift this mindset, right? That not looking for evil, detect evil as soon as possible and change, and then become stronger and happier because we are making a good choice. So I brought a story apart from the book Between Heaven and Earth, from Chico Xavier, by the spirit, dictated by the Spirit André Luiz. In chapter 32, the entire book talks about describes a story over multiple reincarnations of a group of um, spirits that have reincarnated over and over again with among close to each other in order to solve many of the problems, many of the debts they accumulated over reincarnations, right? So there were and it is a complex story because every individual there, every has a story. They reincarnate multiple times. Each one has their own mini story, personal story that they have to overcome. And among them, there is a lot of need for understanding, forgiveness, and love, right? So it involves suicide, it involves spirits that have end the lives of each others, involves literal adultery, right? So cheating and people being destroyed, right? But having lives destroyed in one reincarnation. So they have to reincarnate over and over again. But we are gonna look at one small section of this story. Okay, and I'll try to explain each one's role in a very, I'm not spoiling the story, but we see here not only the complexity of lives that kind of explains why families are so complicated, right? Our own families are so complicated because we all have a, a, a complex story, right, over multiple reincarnations. But also it shows the love, attention, and care of the spirits, the good spirits, trying to protect this group and create opportunities and help them to overcome their difficulties. But let's see. So the passage I want to bring that exemplifies a lot about the teachings we are learning today about our thoughts is a part that talks about a nurse called Mario Silva. So Mario, he receives a chart from a patient that he needs to visit because it is a child and he's suffering from severe croup, right? At that time, croup would kill people, and they have the treatment sometimes was not effective. So he was a nurse, had to treat this patient, right? But then, as he reads the charts, he realizes that the patient is called Julio and is son of Amaro and Zumira, who are people that he has a deep hate towards them. He was before engaged to Zumira. Zumira meets Amaro. She breaks up with him and get married to Amaro. and he could never forgive any of them for this for this situation, right? So he has deep hate feelings for them, and now he's been, because of his work, he has to help treating his son, who is very bad situation, right? Very severe situation. So he has an inner conflict, right? He is torn between his professional duty of helping people, right? And this resentment that is very deep inside of him, right? So he considers withholding the help, or even using the serum, right? The vaccine that the injection that he had to um, apply to Julio to end his life, because he thought, well, that way Amaro and Zumiro will suffer, right? And I'll have kind of a revenge, right? I'll have pain. I'll be able to give my revenge to them. So he's in that rebate. But then what happens? He has the thought, but then he recalls a gospel at home, right? So he was invited, a couple days before, he was invited by Antonia, who was also a person seeking for treatment for her daughter. He goes to visit her house, and at that day they are having the gospel at home, and she invites him to sit and study with them. In the gospel at home, the lesson was about forgiveness. And it was about the passage from Matthew 5, chapter 5, about settle matters quickly with your adversary while you are close to them, right? So at that moment, he was really thinking about all the rage he feels about Zumira and Amaro a couple days before. But then Antonia is comes gives him he she noticed that he really she noticed in his face that that lesson was very struggling, right? He was struggling with the lesson, because in his mind at that moment he thought he could never forgive what they have done, right? And Antonia notices that, and she very kindly, right? She talks with him about no gains are made, right, by having hating and not forgiving people. And she reminds him that because he's a nurse, right? Hands that heal must not harm, right? That these are her words, and that really touch him. And when he recalls all of that, that kind of curbs his urge for revenge. So he's instantaneously stop his desire from cause further harm to Julio. Okay, so he goes and do the treatment that was required. But because the life of Julio also have his own struggles, he had always spiritual help, but he ends up discarnating. And that's because Julius himself had some challenges to go through. So he discarnated even with the treatment and help of the good spirits, and he collapses, he dies, and his soul his spirit is received by the good spirits, protector spirits that take him to the spiritual realm. And Amaro, the father, right? He prays with a cross that he got, a cross that he always used to pray, and he entrusts his sons to Jesus, right? He's very quietly, with a lot of humility, he suffers, he cries, but he handers his son to Jesus. And that scene, and Mario is seeing all that scene, right? And that really touch him. So when he's confronted by Amara's silent grief, in the atmosphere of Christian resignation about all that sad in that sad moment, Mario is overcome with intense remorse because he had the thought of causing harm. He had no involvement with the death of Julio, right? He did all he could, but just because he thought about it, he was fulfilled of remorse. And he leaves the house in tears, very disturbed, and his conscience awakes to forgiveness and the need to rebuild his feelings. So after that moment where he realizes the evil, thanks to the lesson from the gospel at home that came in time, right, for him, because if he didn't have the lesson the 2 days before, maybe he would straight away cause harm to Julio, right? But Julio had to discarnate, but not from his hands. And still his conscience, he didn't do anything, but he was full of regret, right, for even have the thought. But then he's use this as a lesson to seek for ways to achieve forgiveness towards the family, right, towards the couple. So he uses his evil thoughts well, right, in that case, because he can use that to improve himself. So just to getting, so then that's one way, right? So we have here the use of prayer, the use of the gospel at home as a tool where we can learn lessons that help us to overcome our difficulties, and how we can stop our evil thoughts, right? So that they don't culminate in action and so that they don't repeat anymore. So we have then two ways, right? Two choices here. So those to whom the thought occurs but rejected, these are the people who are on their way to make progress, right? We are on the way to making progress. But for those who have such a thought and take pleasure in it, are still indwelt, indwelt by evil and in all its strengths. So if we have evil thought and we enjoy it, we feed it, it shows that we still have a lot to work on our thoughts to change. Okay? And in one side, the work is finished because we learn to stop our thoughts, right? In others, it remains to be yet to be done, right? Work needs to be done there. But God, as a loving Father, is just, is full of justice and love, and He considers all such nuances in people's responsibility for their actions and thoughts. So if we have an evil thought, we should not think we are the worst human being in the world, but we should recognize that we still have to work on it. And God recognizes our effort to improve. Okay? So the lesson for today is an invitation for us to have good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, right? And if we are on the way to improve ourselves, to get enlightened and have a happier life, we must not only change our actions, but also our thoughts and feelings, right? And we can always um, refer to prayer, gospel at home, sometimes even therapy, right? And all the opportunities the good spirits have to give to invite us, to inspire us with good thoughts. So that's the message for today. I thank you for the opportunity to study this, and we have Anna back.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so
Very, very interesting. It made me think that, I went back to, blessed are the pure of heart, for they shall see God, right? So to see God, it cannot be just that we don't do evil. We have to go one step further and also do not think evil, right? So, really be truly pure. All right, I think we have one question
okay.
from our friend Marcelli.
Um,
Yeah, so it says if spiritism, if
mm,
spiritism teaches us that we can commit adultery through thought, what can we do to avoid having thoughts that lead us to go against God's law?
okay. Yeah. So let's expand this adultery by thought as any evil thought, right? A thought that we want to harm someone, a thought that is wrong. So if we can right away stop the thought or recognize it, right? Point of our finger to our thought. Hey, this is a bad thought,
Mm-hmm.
right? Recognizing right away, we are already shifting the vibration, right? Because remember, thought is energy, right? So every thought we have, even though it doesn't result in an action, it produces an energy that vibrates around us, right? And this negative thought can bring spirits that enjoy the same type of thought, right? And it can actually encourage us to have more of those. So if we stop, and perhaps we could even question, right? We could question our thought, oh, is that true? Right? Is that fully true? So if we think that somebody, um, I don't know, sometimes a common thing, right? Oh, somebody at work doesn't like me. Oh, that person doesn't like me. Everything they do is because it's to make me like they always put their foot in front for me to fall or something. Then we can question our thoughts, right? Is that true? And maybe we can recall moments where, well, maybe they just do that to everyone. It's not even personal. Maybe they had a bad day. Maybe that was not what they meant, right? Maybe we can see good things that the person do, so we know that they are not 100% evil,
Mm-hmm.
same way as us, right? We have a bad. So I think going back, reversing the energy, right? So sometimes I used to tell my students, say, well, you have a bad thought, stop and have a good thought about a person, right? So if it's somebody you don't like at work, you could maybe think about, wow, but they are a great parent, right? They love their children. They are excellent cooker, right? So let's think about something that they have good in their heart. They do volunteer work, or because that diminish the strength of our evil thought,
Mm-hmm.
right? If we cannot stop, at least let's try to diminish the power of it.
All right. Thank you so much, Veronica.
Yeah.
Always
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Thanks everyone.
Bye. So we are going to move now to our spiritual care, to our spiritual treatment. So, what is the spiritual treatment? So, our spiritual treatment is one part is passes, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of what passes is. And we also have the fluidified water, right? The magnetized water that we ask you to reserve in the beginning of tonight's talk. So, passes is a transfusion of spiritual energy that assists our physical, emotion, and mental balance. So, if you have never had the passes in a physical Spiritist center or a remote passes like we usually have here every week, don't worry too much about it. You can just follow the audio instructions. The type of passes that we do in our group is a guided passes. So the video, the audio is going to tell you all that you have to do. It will help you concentrate and, guide you through the passes process, or you can just remain player. If you can close your eyes, if that is comfortable for you, that just helps you with more with focusing and the mentalization. So the water that we set aside, the water will receive healing energy for our body and our soul, which we can drink, and we can also set aside for our family too. So everybody in the family can benefit from the magnetized water. So I will do a prayer now, and right before our passes, that's going to be our final prayer too. So I invite you all to join me in prayer, thanking Jesus for all his messages. Thank you, Master Jesus, for showing us what we should be as a final product, pure in heart, meaning no evil behaviors or actions, not even evil thoughts or feelings. We need your help, Master, to keep going in this process of transformation. But we thank God for his mercy, his love for us, and his justice, because God does not see what we are right now. He focuses on the final product, on that pure heart that we will inductly will have it for certain once we are fully evolved. We know that there are so many distractions, and sometimes it's not so easy. But like our sister Veronica told us and led us in the reflection, let's start to be more aware and more proactively knowing ourselves and transforming and making good choices. Let's not negate who we are, but let's work in who we want to be. This perfect, happy, beautiful project of God that is our being, that is our life. We ask Jesus and all the guide spirits to bless everybody in our list of um, vibration. May God help everyone who need out there, all who suffer. May everybody be assisted and helped in what they need, not because of their merit necessarily, but through the justice of God and his mercy that endures forever, for his love for us that nothing can forsake, that love, nothing can really keep us away from God's love, his mercy, his providence. So may we have peace in our lives, in our communities, inside ourselves. May we experience this internal peace, but also help construct this peace outside in our small groups, our family group, our work group, our church family, our community. May we be able to help Jesus in creating this kingdom of heaven that he talked to us about already here. May God bless us, our families, our places of work. May God stay with us in our hearts, and may we seek God anytime that we need instead of giving in to fearful thoughts and feelings from messages of doubt, of lack of faith and hope. May we be strengthened by our faith, and may we be able to strengthen each other. May we be here together in Jesus' name many, many times. And so be it.
Let's get ready for the pass and water fluidification. Please get a container with clean water to be fluidified. Brothers and sisters, it does not matter where you are, what type of hardships you are going through. Jesus is always ready to come and help us. Place yourself in a comfortable position which can make it easy for you to reach concentration and receptiveness. Breathe slowly and easily. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Fill up your lungs with air and let it out very slowly. Let tranquility and peace energies penetrate your lungs and move throughout your body. Your soul in harmony with your body feels easy and in peace. Let's imagine Jesus' passage. A clear day, the sun's golden rays illuminate the happy passage in Capernaum. A lot of white houses, multicolored vines, and hopping birds fill the landscape with optimism. The news about cures attracted the crowd in need. Suddenly, Jesus appears slim and handsome. His tunic was hanging down to his feet. At sunset, all those with sick people hit by several illnesses would bring them, and as he placed his hands over each one, he would heal them. This is what Luke the evangelist says. Let's imagine Jesus approaching you. He holds his friendly hands over our head. Notice that from his generous hands, a waterfall with clear and pure water originated from his love come to bathe you. It flows on your head, goes down your shoulders, bathe all your being, and brings you peace, serenity, and balance. They remove all impurities and pacify you. Feel the water bathing you, cleaning. Breathe. Now, imagine Jesus as a sun before you. His light, his warmth surrounds you. Feel the healing energy that comes from Jesus towards you. He hears your prayers. Trust him. His love is endless and it follows you and protects you. It provides you with everything you need. Have faith. Absorb the healing energy from Jesus. His light surrounds you. Feel the energy going through all your body. Feel stronger and in peace. Lord Jesus, our divine friend, reach out your generous hands, Lord, and change this water into medicine for our physical and spiritual illnesses. Protect us, Jesus, with your peace. Spread those vibrations of love throughout my home, Lord. May peace, health, and tranquility reign here. We are very grateful to you, Jesus. Stay with us today and forever. Thank God. Please remember to use the fluidified water.
Hello, friends, is with the sweet vibrations of the passes that we bid you good night. So follow us on Facebook and Spiritism Canada, the group Spiritist group Path of Light, and Spiritism Canada in Facebook, and also in YouTube or in Instagram. We will see you next week. Thank you so much for your participation. May God bless you and bless your family. And we hope to see you here next week. Bye bye.
Come on, my friend, come to the light. Here with all our heart and soul, let's follow Jesus Christ. Let us preach the peace, let us preach the love. And this world already wonderful will be much more. Get up, look at the sky, in the earth where the flowers bloom with sunshine. Let's hold our hands and be together on this road. Then we take peace and love and spread it to the world.